Hey there. Quick review of college basketball for Thursday. There are a good deal of games, so we'll discuss them, and of course, what does the algorithm say to play? Let's talk about that. So it looks like we have 59 potential games today, and of those 59 games, what we like to do is we like to say, all right, games above 20% margin, of which there are 20 of those games all the way down to Youngstown State here. So, of course, not all of these lines are good, but this is what the algorithm says you'll hit on average 90% of those games, which means on a day where you have 20 games, it's expecting to go 18-2. Doesn't always do that, but it can do better than that, and it can do worse than that, but that's about what it's going to do. Even better than that are going to be the home teams that are a part of that list, because home teams are more reliable than away teams. We discussed that in yesterday's recap video. So which home teams are available above 20% margin? Because these are really the most reliable of all the picks. There are 8 of them. That is Wright State, College of Charleston, Liberty, Stephen F. Austin, Cal State Northridge, Morehead State. Colorado is injured against Arizona State, so would stay away from that one. But Youngstown State is the other one. All those lines are pretty bad. They're pretty bad. But probably going to go 7-1 on those 8 picks. And you probably stay away from Colorado. Could go 7-0 if you stay away from Colorado here. Yeah. So that's what's on the list for home teams. Let's take a look at the entire list as well to see if there's anything else that's popping out that looks interesting. Because when you look at a bunch of different factors at once, you're able to kind of get confirmation on many different levels that it's a good pick. So Marist is going up against an injured Siena, but the strength of schedule is bad, and minus 190 is okay, but it's an away team. It's not really that good. See, I'm just looking for, is there anything with any good lines? Tennessee State on the road against Lindenwood is an over 22% margin game, is only minus 178, and their strength of schedule is better than Lindenwood. So Tennessee State is probably a pretty good pick here. Florida Atlantic is showing some injuries. Colorado, we mentioned, showing injuries, so Arizona State could potentially somehow beat them with that injury number there. Arizona over Utah away, because Utah is a little injured. Arizona line is minus 220, not great, but not awful. Denver over South Dakota, also on the road. First underdog pops up is Tarleton State against Utah Valley. They got a worse strength of schedule. It's only a 13% margin. They're on the road. That's not a very good pick. Tarleton may or may not win. Here's one. Iowa away at Penn State. Notice Penn State's injury number is at 78%. Iowa's at 99. This is only minus 112 because they're on the road, but this injury factor really pushes it in their direction. Same thing underneath that with Southern Utah away at Utah Tech. Look at Utah Tech's massive injury number. So both of these teams are very reasonable line-wise for the situation that's going on with injuries there. Bunch of underdogs here. And these games can go either way. They're too far down on the list, and there's nothing that's pushing it in their direction injury-wise. Here's one where Rider could probably upset Fairfield. Fairfield's at home. Fairfield has a worse strength of schedule significantly at minus 325, and they're at 76% health. So they're missing some big guys, or definitely injuries affecting their team. Rider probably covers there and maybe even wins that game on the road in that kind of weird situation. What else do we have? Western Illinois is only minus 120 against Arkansas Little Rock. You can see there's some value there. We think the line should be minus 175, but it's only minus 120. And they're at home, which is another good thing because they're at home. UNC Wilmington against Drexel at home is -182, but they are at home there. Here's an underdog. Look at this. Campbell against Northeastern. And Northeastern is heavily injured. Campbell is at home and Northeastern is heavily injured. And this is an underdog line. So people really are paying attention to the strength of schedule of this Campbell game. But they can win this game with injury numbers like this. And the algorithm says they would win outright, but it's inflating their stats a little bit because they have such a worse strength of schedule. You've got injuries on Tennessee Tech here. That's not good. Injuries on Oregon. This Oregon-Washington game, you'd think it would be good. There's some injuries there, though. Line is not appropriate. We think Washington covers that 7.5 down here. That's what we think is going to happen. What else do we have? Two underdogs in here. So I would say that, you've got that top of the list where it's going to be most reliable. And it's these 20 games up here where hopefully you go 18-2, or maybe 17 and because you're gonna, or 18-1 or 17-2 because you're probably not going to play the Colorado game because they are injured more than 90% of their team, or less than 90% of their team is active. Only 77% of their contributing team, according to our calculations. So you really wouldn't play them. There's that stuff at the top, which probably turns into some profit. We'll have to see. It's tough to play because the lines are so bad. But when it comes to lines that are a little better and injury situations, these two look good here. This Iowa, Southern Utah, both of those can win, even on the road. With the margin's reasonable. Just terms like straight bets. And this Tennessee State over Lindenwood. I keep giving you teams that are on the road, but I will give you some home teams as well, as the home teams start to show up kind of down here that are a little better, which is that UNC Wilmington over Drexel, the Western Illinois over Arkansas Little Rock, Campbell over Northeastern, and I think Ryder plus the points on the other side of this, actually, because of the injury situation up here. I do think Ryder covers against Fairfield. There's a lot of signs that'll happen. So I gave you a lot of stuff. That's college basketball. If you want to purchase the algorithm, you can go to the website, kenbraverman.com. You can go there, you can buy a copy, give it to you. And you can start updating it yourself, because there will be days that I don't update it, although I think I'm probably going pretty hard the rest of the year before March Madness. We've only got like 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks of heavy, 3 weeks plus whatever. Extra day in February this year, the 29th. We'll continue to update college basketball because it's the fun time of the year for that. So you'll probably be seeing videos out of me every day, but you should still get a copy for yourself and update it, because there's much more that can be read into it than what I go over in the videos. All right, good luck. May all your picks be winning.